Hello, everybody. I'm with Customs and Border Protection today. I'm a customs officer. I'm going to start off by explaining these three uniforms. If you have any questions, you can save them till the end, and we'll be able to answer that. We'll have a Q&A at the end. Just reserve your questions till then, or put them in the chat, and one of the program managers here will be able to get me those questions at the end. So these are the three uniforms for U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The first one being the green one that everybody knows, which is Border Patrol. The second one behind it is Customs officers, CBP officers. The last one in brown is the one that is, I guess, the least well known. That is our AMO, the Air and Marine Division. There are eyes and ears in the sky. They do the helicopters, the airplanes, and also the riverine and boats and stuff. We'll get to the specifications on that. Everybody wants to join them, but they're pretty picky about what they require. So we'll cover that right now. So where did DHS come from? Well, it all started on September 11th when the towers went down. What was happening is a lot of agencies weren't talking to each other for intel, and this is the result of what happened. After that, they created the Department of Homeland Security under that, which is Customs and Border Protection. And under that, that's where you'll see Border Patrol, Customs and Border Protection officers, CBP officers, and Air and Marine. And it was created on March 1st, 2003. This is what our organizational chart looks like. So we're under the Department of Homeland Security. Under that is Customs and U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And just like I said, Border Patrol, CBP officers, and Air and Marine. That's where you'll find the three agencies there. So our mission statement is, of course, the utmost to safeguard America's borders and make sure that nothing dangerous gets into our borders. And that's also international. You'll see, I'll explain some of our international opportunities. And just to continue our global economic competitiveness, we're a producer of a lot of goods and we take in a lot of goods. And so we have to keep that coming and going. This is what is under the specific CBP positions headline. So in the blue, you'll see CBP officers, agriculture specialists. I'll explain what that is shortly. In the brown, you'll see Air Marine Interdiction Officer, Air Enforcement Officer, and Air Interdiction Agent. By themselves in green is going to be Border Patrol. This is what we're made of. These are our numbers. So Border Patrol has over 20,000 Border Patrol agents along the Mexico and Canadian border, north and south. CBP officers were about 20,000 also, a little bit over that. We're at 300 ports, and that's nationwide, and we have international locations. We have 2,200 agriculture specialists, which are specifically looking for harmful pests and any plants that are coming in. If anyone's ever crossed the border and you've brought something that shouldn't be crossing, they're usually the ones who take it up and then they burn it in a furnace later. We have about 1,000 Air and Marine agents, which, like I said, are eyes and ears in the sky. So these are the requirements for both Border Patrol and Customs. You have to be a U.S. citizen. If you are currently a resident and you get your citizenship, you can apply as soon as you have your certificate. For Border Patrol, they do require 1 year full-time work experience. And for Customs, we require 3 years full-time work experience. And that's in anything. So you could have worked at McDonald's and then worked somewhere else and built up those 3 years. It could be between different jobs. It doesn't have to be consecutive either. If you worked one job for a year, took a year off, and then worked another year, as long as you can build up that 1 year full-time work experience and 3 years full-time work experience for Customs, you'll be fine. You have to pass a background, a polygraph. You have to go through a medical exam, a fitness exam. You will have a structured interview with us. It's with retired people. With Border Patrol, it's with current agents. And of course, you have to do a drug test. The age requirement is a little bit different for us. So CBP officers, you have to be 37 and younger. For Border Patrol agents, it's 40 years and younger. If you are a veteran and you qualify under our VRA program, you are exempt to that age waiver. But there are some specifications, and we'll talk about that right now. You have to have resided in the U.S. the past 3 years, unless you're military and you were deployed. No felony or domestic convictions. That's a pretty big stickler there. So if you have any of those, any felonies of any kind, you cannot apply with us. Misdemeanors, depends what it is. Any drug-related misdemeanors are not going to be allowed either. If you have tattoos, just make sure they're not on your hands, neck, or face to apply with us. So these are our guys in the green, our U.S. Border Patrol. So they protect everything between the ports of entry. and they're looking for terrorists, they're looking for drugs, they're looking for alien smuggling, human trafficking. So they're along the borderline, against the wall, if you'd say. They're looking for the same things we are, but just done in a very different way. They're out in the field. So I like to say they have a lot of cool teams, and these are their duties. They have horse patrol, bike patrol, they have canine units. They even have riverine units if you're in the Rio Grande area. They'll have some of those. In San Diego, they do have some ocean units and such. ATVs, they have BORTAC, which is their tactical unit, kind of like their SWAT team. You have to go to a separate academy for that. So those are the major ones. They have a lot of other programs here. The peer support recruiting is also a different program. Their locations are going to be north and south. Everyone who applies for Border Patrol does have to start out in the Southwest region first, and that's from California down to Corpus Christi. Anywhere down there is where you start. Then after years, because it is very competitive to get into other locations, you start going to Florida and Northern Canada. But yeah, they're just north and south. Office of Field Operations. This is the formal name for CBP officers. We're under the Office of Field Operations, so just don't let it confuse you. It's a little weird, but we are CBP officers. We have over 300 ports nationwide, including international ones. Our job is a little different. We're at ports of entry, so we like to joke that that people will come into us, walk up to us, and they're running from Border Patrol. So we kind of do it that. It's a very different job. It's kind of like an airport setting. So, but we're doing a very serious job, just like Border Patrol, which includes anti-terrorism, the immigration, anti-smuggling, a lot of drugs. The one thing that we do that is very completely different is trade compliance and taxation. We are the only agency that does make money for the United States. We make billions of dollars every year because we are doing the taxation on a lot of products that come in. Anything that you have from Nike to Reebok, if you have that Under Armour sweatshirt, it usually came from overseas or from a producer outside of the country, and it has to be checked by a Customs and Border Protection officer at the ports of entry. That's how we differentiate ourselves from Border Patrol. We also have special teams. I'm only going to talk about the first couple three. We have one of the largest canine units in the world. In El Paso alone, we have about 1,000 canine teams. It's a big, 100 canine teams. Not 1,000. We have about 1,000 officers in El Paso, but we have one of the biggest units here in the world because we have so many canines that have to do with intake, outtake, and so we have to use that in airports, land borders, and even cruise lines. For SRT, it's our special response team. That's like our SWAT team, kind of like the BORTAC team for Border Patrol. It is a special academy that you have to go to, and it's basically a hell week is what they're doing there. So yeah, it's a totally different triad. If you're interested in that, that's like our SWAT team. We also have our anti-terrorism currency enforcement team, ATSET. And what they do is they are looking for southbound, anything going southbound, and they do a lot of special programs also for northbound, coming into the country, leaving the country, coming into the country, and they're looking for a lot of currency that is leaving back into Mexico and Canada. Under CBP, we have a special team member called an agriculture specialist. And the Aggie specialists are, they basically are at the ports of entry just like an officer in the same uniform, everything. They just don't have a firearm. There's about, like it said, 2,200 of them nationwide, and anything coming in has to be checked. Like you can see here, and one of the most popular things in our region is chili peppers. So they're looking for that. They're looking for a lot of bugs. One big trend right now is tomatoes. They're not allowed, and then they are allowed. So they see what kind of pests are coming in, and then they can decide what is going to be allowable at that time. And they get samples, and they're sent to DC, and they follow those trends. Hold on a second.
Is that Alex's? Why did you take it?
So
Take it back to when you're done. I thought it was Alex.
these are our CBP locations. We have locations nationwide. When you apply under us, you'll see a location for Southern Border and North, other than Southern Border. That's going to be how you apply. So if you want anything that's not in the Southwest region, you'll have to apply for those. They do label in our applications what are the locations, the specific locations they're hiring for. So you'll be able to see what you're interested in. Right now, it's very competitive. I'm going to tell you that. Our locations are very few and limited as starting. Once you're in, you can do our national bid and start moving into a region that you actually want. So right now, yeah, they're filling the northern part, Minnesota, North Dakota, even Washington has a few. In the Southwest region, that's where you're going to start off in the South. CBP is international. One thing I want you guys to take back is we are international. We do have pre-clearance positions, and those positions are in these host countries. So you get to live and work in these countries. They host us. You're on a diplomatic passport. Your housing is paid for. And yeah, it's a really good gig if you want to. My brother is currently in Canada. He's across the way in Victoria, Canada, across the way from Seattle. So he's loving it up there. He's going to be there for 6 years in Canada, living. And of course, you can come back and forth, but he is just living up there, processing ferry boats coming in and out of the United States. So this is our air interdiction agent. This is Air and Marine. If you have a pilot's license, they will look at you. If you do not, they won't even look at you. So you'd have to get your pilot's license first. That's the first requirement for them. So if you are interested, we don't actively recruit because they're so nitpicky about that. You can just let me know and I can forward you that if you do have your pilot's license. So the same goes with the Marine interdiction agent. You have to have your boat captain's license in order to be able to apply for them. They are very picky about that. So if you do have a boat captain's license, pilot's license, give me an email and I'll forward you to the recruiter. They have a specific recruiter just for them. So these are our pay grades. The starting pay grades are GS 5, 7, and 9. For 5, it's going to be the entry if you just have the 1 or 3 years work experience for Border Patrol. That's where you'll start at. Every year you jump up a pay grade on your anniversary date when you start. So even if you started as a 5, the following year you'll jump up to the 7, the following year you'll jump up to the 9, and so on. So most people come in at the 5, 7, and 9. For customs, 5 is just, like I said, basic work experience if you don't have anything. GS7 is going to be if you have something related to customs work. A lot of soldiers and veterans have gate guard duty that they've done where they've checked documents and commodities coming in and out of a access point. That's kind of like what we do on the border. So that usually gets them this GS7. And the GS9 is specifically for law enforcement, or if you have a master's degree. If you have a bachelor's degree, that'll get you the GS7. Both have to be a 3.0 or higher. We only pay for good grades. And GS9 is specifically for anyone who's done a year and over in any kind of law enforcement. That'll get you the GS9. So you'll just jump every year up to GS11, up that GS12. And if you go into management supervisory, you'll go into the GS13, 14, and 15. Those are our management pay scale. So it keeps going up. There's a lot of money to be had here. CBP officers are able to make $45,000 on top of the base pay every year in overtime. So we can make up to that extra on top of these base pays that you see here. So as a GS9, you make the $52,000 starting as a CBP officer plus $45,000 on top of that if you want to do OT. It's really up to you how much you want to do. And you also get voluntold. You're going to be told to stay on some holidays, weekends. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. Border Patrol does it a little bit different. They have 8, 9, and 10-hour days. So they adjust your pay accordingly. So what you're seeing here, you see their pay is a little higher. That's adjusted for the basically the pay that they're giving you for that extra time. But if you see at the end for the GS 11 and 12, we both meet up at the end. So benefits, we have all federal benefits. So health insurance, dental insurance, vision. We have the retirement thrift savings program, which is like our 401k. We have a retirement package and a pension, premium life insurance, anything really. It's basically competitive with everybody else. We have really good benefits. We get to work out three hours of the week, which is basically is broken up into 3 one-hour sessions. Every port and sector has their own fitness centers and gyms. We do have a tuition assistance program, which is not a tuition payback. It's a tuition assistance. So if you decide to continue or go for your bachelor's degree or continue on to your master's or an advanced degree that is relatable to our job, they'll pay for that. They'll help pay about 50%, up to 50% of it. For all you veterans out there, this is where you would apply the Veterans Recruitment Appointment. For CBP officer, we only allow it for the GS9. So that is the only pay grade that we allow the VRA announcement. For Border Patrol, they do offer it for the 7 and the 9, which are both the entry levels that they offer. You just have to be separated under honorable conditions or general discharge, be recently separated within the last 3 years, be a disabled vet, recipient of a badge, service badge or medal, or recipient of the Armed Forces Service Medal. So if you have any of these, you are basically able to go into their VRA. Just be aware that CBP officer only allows it for GS9. So you have to make sure you have those qualifications in order to get to. If not, you just apply under the general application and you'll still be able to pick your veterans preference points at that point. Okay. If you have more questions, just email me and I'll get that to you. So this is our hiring snake for both CBP and Border Patrol. So 1 through 11, we're just going to zip through this. So first is the application. Everything is done online. All your correspondences are going to be online. You'll move on to number 2, which is our entrance exam. We both have an entrance exam. It's not very different. The only thing is CBP does add math, a little bit of algebra. It's about high school algebra. We send out a starter packet. So if you want to see a practice exam or it also as a study guide is attached to that. We provide links for that. It'll take you to that. After that, you move on to step 3, which they qualify you from 1 and 2 to move on to number 4, which is the medical exam, the PT fit, and then you go on to a full background investigation. Some people have done an EKIP, a background investigation, and they say, oh, well, I already did it. Well, you're gonna have to do it again. The access to our programs is very different. So you will have to get another EKIP. So it might look familiar to you. After that, you do go into interviews, and there's an interview for Border Patrol, which is gonna be with current agents. And the customs interview is with retired high-ranking officers and supervisors. So they know the job probably better than I do. All that culminates into number 8, which is the polygraph. So everything they're going to ask you from the polygraph is going to be grabbed from steps 1 through 7. So just make sure, we always tell you, be very truthful. If you had any incidences that you're worried about, just make sure you bring it up you have brought it up to the point of number 8, because it will come back to you. Provisional clearance is where they're going to clear you. For customs, they're not really doing that anymore, but for Border Patrol, they are. What happens is that they provisionally clear you to move on to the job offer and the drug test before everything is finished. So you need to, if you have anything that does pop up though, you could still be kicked out of the process. So it's just a way to advance people. Customs is completing theirs 100%. So our process does take a little bit longer. Customs is running about 18 to 2 years in the process. Border Patrol is running about a year right now. Of course, with COVID-19 happening, there are closures to all these steps. So it is taking a little bit longer. Just bear with it and keep in it. Then you'll move on to job number 10, which is the job offer, and they'll offer you your entry date. And the last step is the drug test, and then you head off to the academy. This is where I'm going to open it up for any questions. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them or put them in the chat so they can get to them. I'm going to put up this last slide, which has the OFO Recruiters El Paso at cbp.dhs.gov. That is our CBP recruiter email. We have many recruiters answering that, but most likely it'll be me. And then if you specifically want Border Patrol, you can do the El Paso sector recruiting. That's that email. We do both. So it doesn't matter who you contact for what. They'll put you in communication or get you the materials you'll need. Okay.
Okay, Joseph. So this is Liliana from the business team at Mountain Office. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Joining us for this recruitment webinar. And I do have some questions. So I'm not sure if are you able to see them, or would you like for me to ask them to you?
Let me see. I don't have the chat up, but let me see if I could grab it. If you just want to start shooting them to me, that'd be fine. Oh, here it is, Q&A. So the first one I see is there an option or possibility to transfer interagency? An example being Border Patrol. There, you can transfer to Border Patrol. It's just our academies between Border Patrol and Customs, a lot of people think you could just switch over, and it's not. You can switch over, and you might start off as the GS9 going into that other agency, but you're still gonna have to go through the academy. You're still gonna have to go through the exam. Since our steps are very different and the job is very different, you're still going to have to attend that academy, and you're still going to have to look at the exam. You're still going to go through the same process, but you can do that. We get a lot of that at some border, and most of the time it's based off location. If you don't like what location you're at, and you see that Customs is hiring for El Paso, for example, then we get a lot of applications for that because people want to get home. So that's basically why they jump ship to the other agency. The next question is there an academy that would have to attend in order to become certified? Yes. Both Border Patrol and CBP officers have an academy. The one for Border Patrol is in Artesia, New Mexico, which is kind of nearby El Paso. The one for CBP officers is in Glencoe, Georgia, which is closer to Florida. It's about an hour north of Jacksonville. So you fly into Jacksonville and they shuttle you an hour north to the academy. Is there a relocation package for locals who get selected for the out-of-state? There is not a relocation package. For CBP, we do offer incentive locations. So some of those harder to fill locations, which right now aren't that hard to fill, but they still are offering some incentives on top of your base pay. So what you do is you get your base pay plus the first 3 years, you get 33% on top of your base pay, which is usually ranging about $10,000 to $12,000 extra. And then you get your locality pay. But besides that, no, the move is going to be on you, and just getting there is going to be on you. Other than that, they provide the to and fro from the academy and such like that, and all your 3 meals at the academy are paid for, your housing, all that. Okay. If someone would prior federal service, TSA or ICE, how different is the EKIP? It isn't very different, but you're still going to have to go through it. You're going to see a lot of your answers are going to self-generate. So basically you're going to update addresses you moved at. If you've already had your background, usually the TSA and ICE, I think they do a 5-year background investigation just like we do. So you'll just have to go and update any questions that might be newer to you that you haven't seen before. You'll have to answer it. But I think we're closely related to ICE, not really TSA. But we run the same databases. So yeah, you're still going to have to do the EKIP, unfortunately. Will it help you? Probably, because they're going to see that a lot of this has been done before. So it will run faster, but it's still, you're going to have to go through it. Sorry. Are there any opportunities to contract with Border Patrol? I'm sure there are. Specifically, we recruit for officers and agents. I don't know anything else beyond that. There are all those contracting jobs can be found on USA Jobs. So I'm sure you're all familiar with that, most of you. If not, let me know and I can forward you that USA Jobs website. But if you go on USA Jobs, you'll have to search Border Patrol contractors or Customs contractors, but there's a lot of contracting jobs out there, yes. I do not have a hand tattoo. My son's portrait. Does that disqualify me? For Border Patrol, it is going to disqualify you. Even at the academy, if they see a lot of people try to hide their tattoos, and at the academy, you're not going to be able to hide it. You're going to be out there in their uniform. So if you do have the hand tattoo, you're definitely not going to be able to get into Border Patrol. We do have a lot of people who get it lasered off just to apply with us. So that is with Customs. It's kind of a gray area. We're not as strict, but they could hold you to it. What does the structured interview consist of? So the structured interview, I can't really talk about it that much because they like to keep you on your toes, but it's basically going to be situationals thrown at you and seeing how you react to it. And you just have to remember that you have to, the utmost thing is you have to protect life. Okay, that's all I can tell you. From Border Patrol, you said the application. Yes, the Border Patrol application takes about a year. But if you're in college, would it hurt to start the application? So if you are in college and you're going to be 9 months before you graduate, you can apply with either Border Patrol or us and claim that degree and that GPA. You'll have to use, what are they, uncertified transcripts at that time, because there's official transcripts when you finally finish college and you get your degree, but you would just use unofficial transcripts at the time, and you can only do it 9 months before. Even though the process takes 2 years, you can do it 9 months before your degree. Can you switch from BIA to customs even if it's through FLETC? No, I'm sorry. You'll still have to go through our customs academy at FLETC also. Yeah, we get that a lot. People just want to join one or the other. And a lot of it, like I said, is location based. Junior year, not joining year. Oh, I got you. Yeah, but same thing, 9 months before you graduate from college, you can apply. It doesn't matter what, if you're a junior or senior, just if you're 9 months out. Are there any individuals for 40 years of age? And if you are over 40 years of age and not a veteran, the only positions that are available are going to be like contracting jobs or admission support. And once again, I don't have those handy. They're on USA Jobs. You have to search those since we don't actively recruit for those. Those are pretty competitive though. Usually you're competing against other veterans, people who are already in the federal system. But you can go online and apply and see. Those are offered. I don't believe they I don't know what their age requirements are actually. I don't think they have any, but you would have to check to see. But specifically for federal officers, we have that 37 and younger for customs and 40 and younger for Border Patrol. Are there any incentives for candidates who have a top security clearance? The only top security clearance that's going to help you is the TS-SCI. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably don't have it. Everyone who has a TS-SCI knows what I'm talking about. That one, you can, if you do have that clearance, you could apply for our waiver for the polygraph. That's where it helps you. And that's a big step. So if you do have that TS-SCI, I'm telling you, hold on to it because you have to be active in it and they have to see how you're using it because it does matter for us to waive you from that polygraph. What are the requirements for the physical fitness exam? They're very different. So Border Patrol, Customs, sorry. It's 12 push-ups in 60 seconds. This is for before you get to the academy. For our exam, physical exam, before you go to the academy, it's 12 push-ups in 60 seconds, 20 sit-ups in 60 seconds, and a 12-inch step test. It's up, up, down, down, up, up for 5 minutes. So that's what you'll be tested on before you go to the academy. At the academy, you have to do a 1.5 mile run in 15 minutes. I think Border Patrol goes down to 13. 13 minutes for Border Patrol, 15 minutes for Customs. We do a 220-yard dash, and we do 24 push-ups in a minute. This is done equally by gender, so everyone has to pass it, whether you're male or female. So that is how we do our physical tests. If you have more questions on that, you just email me, and I'll get you that starter packet. You can see them more in detail what they are. And I think there's a lot of YouTube and Google videos that you can see. Someone actually, they'll walk you through the actual physical tests. So you stated that when you start, it's usually the Southwest region from California to Corpus Christi. Can you choose the exact area? Unfortunately not. What happens is, and that's for Border Patrol, you will start off in the Southwest region. That's just this, your first station for Border Patrol will be in the Southwest region. And they basically make you they offer you whatever is open at the time. They'll ask you to pick like a region, like, do you want South Texas? Do you want like Southwest, West Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California? But when you go to fill out the application, you'll fill out that region, and then they're going to pick the cities that they choose to offer to you. The only ones that they will negotiate with is the veterans who apply under the VRA, which is the GS 7 and 9 for Border Patrol and the GS 9 application for Customs. So those are the only ones they'll actually negotiate location with, okay? Are there any medical disqualifiers? Not really, you just have to meet our physical requirements. If you can, are you able to do those push-ups and all that? The disqualifiers are gonna be if you can't make those minimum requirements that we need. For veterans, a lot of the things that disqualify them is going to be if they're not using something that they should. One of the common things is sleep apnea. If you're not using your sleep apnea machine and then you apply for us and you get to the medical and they ask you, are you using your sleep apnea machine? You tell them no. Well, that's a required medical device at that point. That's going to disqualify you. We're getting a lot of veterans do stuff like that. Or they might have a run restriction, and the run restriction, well, you're going to have to run with us. So you either need to get that fixed or adjusted, or you can't apply with us because you're not gonna be able to make it through that medical qualifier. So just little things like that. If you have any more questions, just email me. I'll be able to go into more depth if you have a more in-depth question about that. But we do have disabled vets working for us almost 90, 100%. So that's not a big thing. It's just making sure that you can do our minimum PT requirements.
Great questions. Thank you so much, Joseph, for answering those. And thank you for joining us. And can you remind us, you said the first of every month is when the positions appear, right?
Correct. So Border Patrol is open all month. Customs has gotten very competitive. So you have to apply the first of the month at 12 a.m. Eastern time. So in the El Paso, New Mexico area, usually that's about 10 p.m. the day before the first. But we're seeing that every first of the month, our positions are closing out within hours. So I really, if you need to send me your resume so I can review it, I'll look at that. Just send it to my email. Just make sure that you keep check on that, because a lot of people think, oh, I'll do it later in the day on the first. It's gone. And you won't be able to apply again until the first of the following month. So currently we're closed, and we will open again February 1st. Border Patrol is currently open. If you're going to apply with them, that's fine. Either way, you can send me their resumes and I will get them to you, or get a Border Patrol recruiter to take a look at it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And if anybody has any more questions, they want to know the email. Can you put it in? Okay.
Let me put it back up so you guys can have it there. Can you see it there?
Not at the moment.
Was it up right now?
No.
Oh, let me bring it up. So these are the emails. So OFO Recruiters El Paso is going to be for CBP officers. El Paso Sector Recruiting is going to be for BP agents. If you feel comfortable working with me, even though you want to apply with Border Patrol, that's fine. Just send it to OFO Recruiters. We do recruiting for both sides. So either one is going to be able to help you out.
Nice. Well, everybody have a good rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions. We've heard it all.
Thanks, Joseph.
Just
Bye.
take care. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.